I'm Christine Sorensen with this week's Kidsburgh Kidcast. Maybe your kids are dressing as superheroes for trick-or-treating, but we want to develop their superpowers every day. Today, we're helping parents ensure their kids are safe on Halloween. We're talking with an expert in just a moment, but first, Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. In fact, for many years, we dressed in family-themed costumes, and I had to laugh at these adorable and creative costumes I found. Look at this crazy cat lady, Drake, the Chipotle burrito, and Jake from State Farm. But in addition to the hilarious, there are a lot of scary things at Halloween time. If you're not sure if a particular movie is okay for your child, check out Common Sense Media's website. You can look up almost any movie or show, and they'll give you great advice on what's appropriate for what aged child. In fact, my kids even look it up themselves now. So let's get to our expert. I'm joined by Dr. Michael Lynch, who is the director of the Pittsburgh Poison Center at UPMC. And tell us, first of all, how can parents make sure that what their kids eat on Halloween is safe?
For the most part, candy is going to be safe. Episodes of tampering are incredibly rare. So what we just recommend is that you go through, look through the pieces to make sure they're still in their original wrapping, that it hasn't been tampered with. Things like fruits or other homemade snacks that are packaged in the home or unpackaged, we recommend discarding unless you know exactly where they came from, a trusted source. Other things that we are thinking about, we haven't seen but would be concerned with, as access to medical marijuana infused treats and gummies and brownies becomes more expanded, even though they're not legal here for children ever or for distribution. It's something that we could see, we have seen children taking and using. I would look for either THC or cannabis or cannabinoid or marijuana on packaging just to make sure a child doesn't inadvertently get access to it.
How can parents make sure that their kids are safe while they're out trick-or-treating?
So the first thing is planning your costume. So if you're going to wear a mask, we want to make sure it's well fit and that there's good field of vision, so they're not missing the peripheral, don't run into things that they don't see, or certainly go out into traffic. Other things are to make sure that your pants or the costume doesn't hang over your shoes so that you could trip over that. And we recommend, even though it may not go with the costume, wearing sneakers. Instead of masks, a lot of people will use makeup, which can be a safer option just because it doesn't obstruct vision. But we want to make sure that it's a non-toxic makeup, and we usually recommend that people test it on a small area of skin a few days ahead of time to make sure there isn't a reaction. And if you do wear makeup, make sure that it gets cleaned off with soap and water before you go to bed that night. Sleeping in it would make it more likely that you'd have a skin reaction.
So is it cars, I would imagine, that are really one of the biggest dangers on Halloween?
Absolutely. For all the talk of looking at candy, which is really important, the most real relevant risk and things that we see the most frequently are accidental traumatic injuries. And a lot of that has to do with crossing the street. So we recommend that costumes have some bright or reflective kind of material on them so that kids are easily visible, that you stay on one side of the street while you're trick-or-treating, and when you cross as a group, preferably with an adult and at a crosswalk, and not zigzag across the streets or go running out into the streets.
So Dr. Michael Lynch, thank you so much for your time and happy Halloween.
Thank you very much. Have fun and be safe.
For great Halloween events all around our region, go to KDKA.com/Kidsburgh and be sure to sign up for the weekly e-blast so you're always in the know.